Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, gentlemen, you have the February 13th minutes. Any additions or deletions to those minutes? Not have a motion to accept.
Make a motion on the minutes be accepted.
Second. Second, all in favor? You have a code enforcement officer's report for January and February. This time we open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wish to address the board? First thing on the agenda is from the Real Property Office Tax Service Agency, and it's from Mr. Gagnon, and its subject is the municipality profile. As part of the annual reassessment plan, we require the signature of the Chief Executive Officer, which shows the willingness of the municipality to participate in the plan. Please have the mayor or supervisor sign and return as soon as possible. This is a six-year plan. It starts in 2001 and ends in 2006. Need a motion from the board to sign it?
That's to reassess.
Yeah.
Do the 100% reassess it every year.
Right. The document is designed to assist the assessing unit in preparing an annual reassessment plan. The outline here is intended to be a general guide to aid the assessing unit in formulating a plan which addresses the key principles in achieving and maintaining equity through a program of annual reassessment. Do I have a motion from the board to sign?
Also moved.
Moved by Mr. Cookman. Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. We have the fire protection agreement for the village of Rouse's Point. It's been modified to also include the Town of Champlain Fire Commission District, hereafter designated as the commissioners. I submitted this to Rouse's Point. The village board seemed to agree with it, but they wanted their attorney to review it, and as of today, their attorney has not gotten back to them. But with the board's permission, I would like to sign the contract for the Town of Champlain. Also,
Because this comes out of January, right?
this is January the 1st to December the 31st. Yeah, and if the fire commission takes over, it's written in the contract that they'll abide by the fire district contract.
They don't make a new contract after the next year.
Well, they can continue with this one if they want.
No, oh yeah, they
It
could.
just carries on.
That's why we've done that way.
Yeah. If you read the last page of the contract, it's the paragraph that's put in. At such time as the joint village-town assumes responsibility for firefighting and emergency service in the district area, the town will assign all its interests in the fire protection contract between the town of Champlain and the village of Rouse's Point, dated for the year 2001, to the Champlain Fire District and the village of Rouse's Point, and the Montgomery Wholesale Platter and Company agreed to continue to be obligated thereunder in all respects. So I need a motion from the board.
I make a motion that the supervisor is authorized to sign this fire contract.
First, second of the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Cookman. Have a roll call vote. Mr. Cookman.
Aye.
Mr. Trahan.
All right.
Mr. Wallet. Aye. And Mr. DeMars.
Aye.
Next item you have on your agenda is from Northeast Clinton School District requesting voting machines. The formal request for the Northeast Clinton Central School District to use 2 voting machines for the special meeting to vote on school budget, which will be held on May the 15th, 2001, from 12 noon to 9 a.m. in the cafeteria at the middle high school in Champlain, New York. Move that they be allowed to use the machines. We have an agreement with them anyway. Saying
Do they come out to them, or we're gonna bring them up there?
we deliver them.
We deliver them, pick them up.
You want to write that on your agenda?
I've already got it marked down. I want a
While
week.
while we're on that, I was talking with Fosbury yesterday, and they're gonna be here to inspect the building and it's going. And I told them we had 2 rooms in all of this, one district here and one over there, they're gonna talk with Ralph about it. And Ralph had some correspondence with him.
They said they'd be here next week, or?
Oh, he didn't say
Oh.
when,
I haven't-
but they've already been here anyway, but they wanna verify a few things and, wait till September to do that.
Okay.
Motion on this voting machine, or you just wanna go by the contract?
We have a contract with them anyway, I don't think we need a motion, service contract.
Okay.
Next thing you have on your agenda, gentlemen, is the sewer and water contracts. I know we okayed these at last meeting, but there was a change in a couple places. The one change that was made is on the last page on major maintenance. And it said that the first sentence was in there, but they added, "The town and the village board will decide how major maintenance will be accomplished." So, being there wasn't that drastic of a change, I thought we should okay the contracts again. So with your permission.
We accept them with the changes.
Okay, made by Mr. Cookman, second the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Carried. The next thing we have on the agenda is the zoning officers' civil service job description. What I'd like to do is, at this time, present a resolution to the board to appoint a zoning officer. And it states as the town of Champlain has the needs to appoint a zoning officer to fill the vacancy left by Barbara Jarvis. This motion is to appointment of Julie Castan for provisional zoning officer for the town of Champlain for the year 2001. Also, Julie be compensated an hourly pay increase of 50 cents for provisional zoning officer.
So moved. Your motion.
Moved by Mr. Cookman, second by Mr. Trahan. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Next letter you have is from the Emergency Management 911, and what it is, it's a letter to inform you that the enhanced 911 numbers given to the year 2001 for the town. In addition, there may be further changes or notations on the list, which may reflect additional information. The office is attempting to inform you of your E91 addresses so that your records will be in unison with ours, especially in relation to new construction. The one request the office has is that you inform every department, such as the building code inspector, assessor, superintendent of highways, and any other department you deem necessary to receive this information. This will assist the office in reporting the address. Please have the department manager review the addition and changes, and if there are any problems or questions, have them make contact with us as soon as possible. Kelly Donahue. Did you get a copy of those changes?
Nope.
Okay, I'll make sure you get a copy tonight.
You can have that one. Your name is on it, I thought you would have got a copy.
Oh, okay, yes, this year, yeah, I did, a while back. Yeah.
Next item we have on the agenda is the Clinton County Highway Department. It's from Al Rascal. It's to the supervisor. It's a blasting service agreement. Dear Mr. Beal, due to the fact that the original blasting service agreement were never fully processed for signature, I am forwarding to you 2 new copies of the agreement and ask that you sign and date the same before Notary Public and return them to me for processing by the county. I regret this omission and thank you for your cooperation in this matter. If you have any questions regarding this matter, please do not hesitate to contact me. I need a motion from the board to sign the contract. We had lasting contracts, but apparently nobody could come up with a signed contract.
Make a motion, the supervisor sign the contract.
Moved by Mr. Trahan. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried. As you all had the Jack Favreau request, we did the research on this, and this request was denied on lowering his salary for his Social Security benefit. We're not allowed to lower a judicial salary in the middle of a term. So therefore, he has another option, and he's asking for a reduction in his pay for the months of January, February, and March. He's already been paid. So for April to November, he will be paid $860, I think it is. $890. And the last month of the year, December, he'll receive the balance of his account, which is still $15,000 for the year. Did you all receive Clinton County legislators' minutes?
No.
Are you receiving copies of these?
No.
Would you like copies of them, the legislators' minutes, Clinton County? If you want, I'll make you copies, or you can have mine to read. It just keeps you abreast of what the county's
That'd be a
doing.
good idea.
You want a copy?
Yeah.
Anybody else? The next thing is not on your agenda. It's from the New York State Environmental Conservation. It's just a notice of complete application, and it's Ronald Lepini. The facility is a Dependency property on Lake Champlain, Route 9, Kings Bay. The applicant proposes to repair an existing 270 long retaining wall by placing shot rock in front. The project is not subject to CEQA because it is a type 2 action. And you have the lead agencies down there. That's mainly just for information. We have an answer. I made a letter up last month to send to the different taxing entities seeking a tax extension on our sand pit and our gravel pit, one in Moores and one in the town of Shazy. And according to the attorneys and real property office, their opinion of it is, well, I'll read this from Celine Paquette. Is your request for tax exemption for two parcels of land owned by the town of Champlain and located in the town of Shazy and the town of Moores. I have received two opinions, one from our county attorney and one from our real property director. Attached, you will find a copy of the law to which they both refer. It appears that these properties are not exempt from real property taxes. Please advise as to what you would like me to do if you know of any municipalities that have received this exemption. So I'd like to know. But apparently we're not eligible. I have another resolution for the Adirondack North Country Community Enhancement Program. And it goes to read as, whereas the town of Champlain be authorized to make application for the $25,000 grant that was held in reserve for the Adirondack North Country Community Enhancement Program for the landscape project located on Interstate Route 87 and Route 11 at exit 42. Whereas the supervisor for the town of Champlain is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the town all contracts for this project. New York State Controller's number NZ20015 and agency code 01080. So the board's permission, I would like to sign that application.
I'll make a motion that the supervisor be authorized to sign it.
Motion by Mr. Cookman. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morris. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Unopposed, note. When we went to the Association of Towns meeting this year, in the opening session, the speakers were the Honorable Charles Schumer, the United States Senator, and Senator Hillary Clinton. Senator Schumer spoke on his concerns of air service to the North Country, and Senator Clinton spoke of her plans for jobs for New York. At the breakfast the following Tuesday, which we all graciously attended, the Honorable Charles McCall, Comptroller for New York State, and Elliot Spitzer, Attorney General for New York State, were the speakers there. I attended some of the meetings, and some of the meetings I attended were the establishing and financing of ambulance and emergency rescue service in the town. And it's the same old story. A town is not able to have an ambulance emergency rescue service and get paid for it by charging to the public. The other meetings I attended were meetings on guidelines and standards for classifying and managing roads. It was quite interesting. Meeting with the New York State Small Cities Community Development Block Grants. This also includes, even though it's Small Cities Block Grant, it also includes town development. And meeting on effective budget, a realistic approach. Meeting on purchase and competitive bidding. I spoke to Maureen Madden, Associate Attorney for the Office of State Comptroller, with reference to that capital reserve fund and the bid process for road resurfacing. She's going to review that information and let us know of her review. Business meeting of the Association of Towns, which is held on the Wednesday, the last day. All the resolutions passed. There were resolutions 1 through 15, and they all passed. The one that I took great interest in was the Emergency Fire Department and Medical Service Compensation Program that they're interested in doing. That's giving the firemen and the EMS people a $1,500 credit, New York State tax credit. It's not very much, but it's a start. And I think eventually we all know that we're going to have to do something for these volunteer force out there. One of the other people I spoke with, this is just for probably in the future, and that's Virtual Town Hall. They set up a website for local governments. This is something maybe we want to add a later date, something to think about. Some of the advantage for us would be assessment inquiries. This would provide our residents the ability to prepare their assessment to like properties. Also, other benefits are online forms, building code, and interactive calendars, which tell us what the town is doing and how it's going on. There's something in the future we can talk about and see if we want to do it. Also spoke with Business Automation Service, and they are a company who furnishes us with software for Ralph mainly. They have a software package coming up that's, as a matter of fact, they've got it ready to go now for real property, building code, and code enforcement officer. And I asked them if it was compatible with version 4. And they said yes, but they don't have their version 4, which is a real property office package. They don't have that ready to go yet, but they do plan to have it ready for August. So that's something that we may want to look into. One other thing we have is, as you all know, we had an account that helped pay for the appropriate water on the landfill area, which Aris put up, and it originally was $50,000. We have a letter going out to the people today in their bills. The remaining balance in that account is $8,065.45. Most likely this year those funds will be eliminated from that account. So that's just letting them know that they have about a little less than 1 year left. I have one request for a sign. That's a deaf child sign. That's deaf now. On the missile-based road. Do you need a motion for that, Samuel? A motion from the board that we install. There's a child on the missile-based road that has a hearing impairment.
As a what?
He can't hear.
Oh,
So moved.
So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. One other thing, Mr. Trahan and I will be gone the last 2 months.
Does Sam know where those are going?
Yeah, I'll let you know. On the missile base road. Works well.
You need a resolution to do that, or that's just something you have
Well, I'd like a resolution for the board to install the sign.
on the missile base road?
Mhm. One other thing I have is Mr. Trahan, which is deputy supervisor, and myself will be gone for the last 2 weeks of March. I would like to appoint Mr. Cookman to act on behalf of the supervisor and the deputy supervisor while we're gone, with the capabilities of signing any documents that have to be signed. Have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr.
Second.
Morris, second by Mr. Walden. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's all I have. Go to committee reports. Building committee, Mr. Trahan, Mr. Morris.
Not too much of the, at the time right now, our building's not completed yet, they haven't been back to work, weather mostly. I expect a call tonight, see when he's coming back.
Okay. Red?
Weather's not too favorable for the rest of the week either.
No, it doesn't. Okay, anything else? Grants committee, Mr. Cookman, Mr. Wallet.
Nothing at this time.
Board of Assessment Review, Mr. Wallet. Highway committee, Mr. Trahan, Mr. Morris.
In the month of April, we'll be looking over the highways, we talked about it today with Sam here, on which ones are gonna be the first ones to do here for the repaving. We thought that we'd wait to see what happens on the deterioration of the winter here, which is not,
Should be pretty
which
close
is
to
not
the
too
end.
good. That's all I have.
Water and Sewer Committee,
The only thing I have, we're still working on the water for Route 11 and the sewer for Water 11, myself and Mr. Wallach. And I'd like to have the supervisor appoint Mr. Tran to work with Mr. Wallach and myself on that water and sewer in case one of us is absent or something. That these two people, at least two people that knows what's going on. So if the supervisor would appoint Mr. Tran for that committee, I'd appreciate it.
Mr. Trahan is interested in serving on that committee for? Okay. Oh, we'll so appoint Mr. Trahan as also on that committee for Water and Sewer.
We are setting, we met with the school and we're working with them on that, and we are still working on it, so nothing really to report on the water and sewer at this time.
Next month we should have,
Yeah, we should have something by next month.
we've got we have somebody that's would donate land for the water tank on. So we're gonna go back to Ross's Point again and see if they're interested. They save about $5 million. I think.
5 million?
Right?
Yeah.
Big taxpayers would save a lot of money in Ross's Point.
So we're looking at that, we're gonna try to, as soon as we can set up the meeting, within probably 3 weeks or so, or a month, we're gonna set up a meeting with Rouse's Point, and we'll set up another one with Champlain and the school. We're gonna keep this thing moving, we're gonna try to get it done as soon as possible. And we're looking for grants also on all this.
Okay, very good, gentlemen, very good. Anything else? Landfill Committee? Be quiet.
Nothing right now, I'll be doing anything out there till another 6 weeks anyway.
Okay. Any other councilman have anything to report on at this time? No other councilman to report. We'll go to town clerk's report.
information, Sequoia Pacific Boating Equipment Company, one of the two companies who still repaired mechanical boating machines like we have now, have gone out of business. Now there's only one company left that will repair them.
How far away are they?
Yeah, Binghamton, they're both down that same area. I wrote a letter to the Clinton County Board of Elections to inform them of our new resolution at the last meeting to change the voting location for districts 1 and 3 to the town hall. I then wrote them a letter requesting that they advise us in writing that they had received it, that they are going to act upon it, so we would have something in writing. And this is the letter I got back. Dear Ralph, the Clinton County Board of Elections is in receipt of the County of Champlain's resolution to change its polling place designation effective at this year's local elections. Please let us know that all of the Board of Elections will gladly notify all affected voters as to the change and will assume all the costs for the required mailing. Please extend our thanks to Mr. Beal and the Town Council for taking this action, as the Board looks forward to using the Champlain Town Office as its polling place for Champlain's District 1 and 3. We are sure that the voters will be well served. We also wrote a letter to the American Legion advising them that the contract would be, following action was taken at the last regular meeting of the Town Board of Champlain. Starting with this year's election, the voters in Districts 1 and District 3 will vote at Champlain Town Office, located at Route 729, Route 9. Therefore, effective immediately, a letter of understanding dated December 17, 1998 will terminate on May 16, 2001. That's the only thing I have for myself, but I do notice that we have got this information on the water tower in Rouse's Point. And we have to do something with that resolution to give them tax exemption. We couldn't do it officially until we got until we had bought the land and until we got the specs for it. We now have them.
Do you have, has it been recorded?
Yes, it has.
Okay, that's all we needed. I guess as long as that's been recorded, the resolution that we initially proposed is satisfactory, is my understanding from the attorney. As long as we have the seal and it has been recorded in the clerk's
I
office.
don't know where I got this from you or Pat?
Probably got from Pat. What's the postmark date on it? On the dated seal?
That's the date of the engineer. There's no letter on this. from the
Well, I
engineer.
understand it was done before March the 1st, and,
I don't guess there's any hurry about it. I mean, I hear, we can make sure what exactly you have to do.
he informed me that the resolution that we had adopted for
It
that.
says here, it's recorded in Clinton County Clerk's Office, on page 89, gives the page and the number where it's recorded. So it has been recorded.
That's all that they needed, was to show that they did own the property. If you want, we can revoke the resolution at this, if it's,
Well, I think I just want to make sure in case
Okay.
he wants to put something more in it than we have. Anyhow, we have it, it's been recorded, so that's all I have.
okay. Superintendent of Highways, Mr. Castan. Everything okay?
Yep.
Anyone from the public wish to address the board at this time? Close the meeting. Okay, gentlemen, you have the bills. Any discussion on the bills?
I have an extra one,
You have an extra bill?
yes, I do.
You want to read it?
It is from Tools Unlimited, Champlain, New York. So it's $97.66. The hole saws, arbors, hooks, carts, casters, various items from the highway department got. And it's been approved by Sam Chastain.
second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Demars. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right,
Opposed? Carried. No other business to come before this board? I have a motion we adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
second.
All in favor?
All right.